one great source of creative inspiration are competitor ads. Swipe file apps or TikTok or Meta Ads Library are a great place to look at them at a glance, but what if you want more of a deep dive across a bunch of advertisers in your industry? Here's how you get started. First, grab a number of live ads from competitors. You can use any number of swipe file apps for this. In this example, I'm looking at direct-to-consumer skincare brands, and I used the swipe file app's MCP integration to download live ads from 24 different brands. Altogether, this is some 10,000 ad creatives, but you can get started with lower amounts as well if you're doing this manually. Now, as you don't have access to competitors' performance data, you need to be a bit careful with what you put emphasis on. A good sanity check is to look at the competitor ad account and make sure that they have at least 100 ads live at a time. You can see this on Meta Ads Library, for example, as this is a strong indicator that the budget is high enough that the learnings will be meaningful. And especially if you're doing this manually, you should start from the ads that have been running the longest. In Ads Library, you can sort it by the latest, and then you can simply scroll and see on every ad what the start date of each of those was. Once you have the files, apply some labeling on them consistently, ideally following your own naming and tagging conventions so you can compare their material against what you're currently running. So things like, is it a static or a video? What are the angles, the hooks, the value props used, how discounts are shown, information about talent on camera, footage style, music in the background, and so on. Now you can do this manually or with different AI tools. In this example, I've uploaded all of the creatives into Focal, and everything gets tagged automatically based on AI tagging conventions I've set up. So there's information about quick summaries of the creative, what language is it using, are they showing promos, information about the talent, and so on. But once I have this information, then I'll use these labels to analyze what the different brands are doing to spot trends and differences. How are they balancing video versus static or different ad formats, for example? Are similar hook patterns or discount mechanics there? Are there similarities in talent happening across brands, and so forth? And then you can compare this to your own ads. So do you have obvious gaps versus what most competitors are running? So for example, is there a hook or a creative direction that different competitors use consistently that you are not? Or conversely, are you running extremely similar creative versus your competition? So is there something you could do differently to stand out from the others in your space? Now this can yield a lot of valuable insights. In this case, I used the Focal MCP to do this analysis, again across 24 brands and 10,000 ad creatives with Claude, so the process was quite painless. The findings are quite a bit broader than what you can do manually, obviously, but starting with a few brands and some dozens of ads is also more than fine. Now, obviously, large brands test new angles and concepts all the time, so remember that this analysis is worth repeating every now and then as well, just so you see how the patterns shift. Things that remain from one analysis to the next are a pretty good indicator of things that are working for your competitors, and stuff that gets dropped probably means something has saturated or it wasn't working in the first place. Now, I hope you found these tips helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or want me to dig deeper into this subject.